Oh, these little queers and their friends are pissing me off. So I'm at the point now where we just are not going to chop off the head of every Israeli dual citizen and every person who worships them or protests as we chop their heads off. I'm at the point where we have to find a way to grant them immortality, and then we can rip out like 5 bones of their body a day, and then we can glue them back in with like Elmer's glue or whatever. Like, the dumber it is, the better it's going to be. Like, we can put this on pay-per-view and it'll never pay for anything. Forget pay-per-view. Like, just give it to people for free. They'll love it. But I figure we get the employees of Google, YouTube, Facebook, every person in Hollywood, every person who looks like they're from Israel, every person, like Zelensky, like Putin is doing really good right now. He's fucking exterminating this Zelensky homosexual. And then, you get these people and you got to set a standard. You have to show them that they're going to be gone. But the problem is like, you can't train these people. Just like I can't train these millipedes on the ground who are trying to infest my shit. I have to exterminate them by the thousands. God didn't create things to be able to be trained. I could train the millipede to, like, jump around and play with tigers and build spaceship rockets to go into fake space and all that stuff. And they could go into whatever else they could invent some new stuff we never even heard of after they go into fake space. But I really think the answer here is dealing with the problem we have at hand. And to be honest, I don't think there's a lot of people who are on their side. I think that's why they're scared. And when I go speak with the humans, that they get in between me. Like, for the past I don't know, since I was born, they've been in my life. And it's like only this one racial supremacist group can come into my life. And I'm not allowed to associate with anyone else, supposedly, it looks like. And then I noticed, like, once I started doing this stuff, they literally get in between me and other people. And I pointed this out to someone else as it was happening. I was telling him it happens, and then they come up in between us, and I'm like, look, dude, it's happening. And he's like, yeah, it is, isn't it? And it's hard to deny it if that happens. And I was trying to dance with some black girls at one point in time. And I wasn't trying to. I just asked them, like, hey, like, can I cut in? And they're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, one of these Israeli dual citizens and one of her India friends, she had a little slave from India on her side. They came up and they, like, separated me from the 2 black girls. And then the Israeli dual citizen, who was like, I don't know, 90 years old, it looked like a walking corpse. Like, she was like acting like she'd like me to separate me from these other people who actually did like me and looked beautiful. And then, like, I'm like escalating the likeness, and she doesn't like that. And it's like, okay, so you just separated me from these people for a reason. And it's like, I wasn't talking to you, I wasn't looking at you, I wasn't trying to be around you. Like, you look like a piece of fucking rotting fucking meat. I'm not gonna go after you. You look like a 60-year-old douchebag who's fucking rotting and dying and decaying. And you smoke meth and crack. So I'm definitely not interested in that. And I'm definitely not interested in pieces of shit who get in the way of my life. But I noticed they have this pattern, like, you can speak with one of the males I knew. They came, I was trying to educate I was trying to educate the humans, because they're not humans, they're an alien fucking species. I was trying to educate the humans on who they are, and how they control everything. And one of them came in between us. And then I was trying to dance with some black girls. And then one of them came in between me and the black girls. And there's no reason for any of that to happen except for, I was literally telling that guy, a member of a band in Columbus, Ohio, I was literally explaining to him how these demons control the planet and they get in the way of us, and then they come up and they get in the way of us. Well, I'm speaking with him and stuff. So, the problem has to be solved, period. I'm forced to be on this planet. I have like 20, 30 years left. So, I'm going to have to change my outlook from being a peaceful guy who lets these pieces of shit continually assault me, because this Israeli dual citizen Joey Klotz and all his family, in his Columbus, Ohio government, they took my family's house and hundreds of thousands of dollars from me once, because he ended up dead because he came near me, which is the eventual outcome if you come near me and you don't walk away eventually and you act like you're a fucking meth head. God had decided to put a hole in this dude's head, and it was kind of cool. We had pictures from the morgue, from the detectives, where flies were like trying to enter the hole in his skull and all that stuff. It was pretty interesting. It was really funny, but funny little jokes don't make up for the hundreds of thousands of dollars that the Israelis have stole from me and my family. So I've got a funny little joke for them, and I think Putin's got a funny little joke for them. Putin is just strafing their nations right now, and I think like the good people who are not related to that, and the people who think they're good who are related to that, they should fuck off and die. But the good people should like step aside while China and Israel and South America and Russia liberate USA, because USA isn't what they say it is. This is part of their game plan. This is how they play it. They come in and they say, I'm the best, I'm God, I'm Jesus, and if you don't believe in me, I have to kill you because you're Satan. So what they've come into these nations. They came into Europe and they genocided the Europeans, and they replaced them with Semitics, and then from there they spread out to Australia, USA, South Africa, and then back to Israel once they got the strength to do that. And we need to really stick with this, what's going on here in the actual plan, because no one's ever going to be forgiven for entering my life and separating me from other people who I've tried to date. And who knows, I could have been married to some of these people eventually. They're just pieces of shit. And turds are useful. Like the flies eat feces. Turds are useful. But like I've said before, I'm worried that they will poison the earth. Their blood will leach into the soil and will kill the millipedes and the centipedes and the ants, and they'll kill the mosquitoes, all these useful things upon this planet. I get worried if they don't have predator blood. Like, you guys remember the movie Predator that they made in their Hollywood studios? They're probably telling us who they are, that their blood destroys things, and it's like acid, or like the movie Aliens, they are the aliens. So look at that. The actual movie Aliens, which is what they are, because they're not humans, their blood is like acid that destroys things it touches. At the end of the day, we need to focus on the real important issues here, I think. What happens when we get rid of them? Will they stink up the planet? Will their blood poison the soil? Will the trees stop growing wherever they are thrown? we throw them into a pile over here. Will the soil be destroyed? I think these are the important questions. See, I'm always looking forward to the future. Like 10 years ago, I made the documentary that the West was trying to take over Kazakhstan, and then the West genocides Kazakhstan and takes over Kazakhstan. So now I'm telling you, like in 8 years, we're going to have a problem here. Do these beasts, things, whatever they are, does their blood poison the soil? Will their children's blood poison the soil? And what happens? What happens if they do have this alien acidic blood, and then they all have to go to hell? Then the shell they're in is going to leak this acidic fucking blood everywhere. It's going to eat through everything and kill everything. And I wouldn't doubt, this sounds like who they are. This is like their backup plan. We know they're going to try to kill us, so let's make our blood so it's like this total poison that eats through the earth when they kill us. And never again, all this stuff. They know people are after them, so that's why the media is all censored, because they know one little peep about who they really are, and it's game over for them. They're all gone. They're all going to be erased. But at the end of the day, now we can see humans. Many humans have one of them right beside them, and so those humans, they have taken over these people, and they will. The humans have tiny brains and limited thoughts. So if they have a child, or if they have a wife who is an alien demon, they will they're already bound. Males, if we're talking about males, the males have already bowed down to their females, and they'll do anything and everything. They're already destroying the planet for the females that they're with. They've destroyed the males. They're feeding them estrogen to turn them into, to turn their penises into vaginas when they're 4 years old. They're never going to become females because they're not going to be able to breed. But they're dead. They're sterilized and all this. And you can see in these video documentaries who it is who wants that to happen, and then who goes along and capitulates. The female's I want to have a daughter. And the male's okay, you can have whatever you want, as long as you still stay with me and watch TV while I go to work. And all this stuff. Don't you love how I trying to throw a million things in one video? But I have to do that. I can't make videos on certain subjects, so we have to put the pry bar in here and there every now and then. And what are we gonna do about these things? Who are they? How do they come? Does anyone else understand that they can come out of nowhere and talk to you about stuff and tell you about your personal life? These aren't humans. These are something else, and they're fucking monitoring, and they're destroying the fucking earth and shit. They're staging all this stuff. Some people call them the New World Order, and let me tell you, Alex Jones is married to an Israeli dual citizen, so of course he's not going to call it. One time, there was a video available on the internet where an Alex Jones star was on a show with him that said, you know who it really is, right? And it was behind the scenes. It was during break, and they recorded it, and somehow it got out. And he was yeah, but we can't talk about it because I won't be able to make any money. And it's okay, well, that's what that is. You have the internet, you have the TV, everyone looks exactly the same. There's no black media. Here's a real telltale story, whether you like blacks or not. There's no black media. That's because they are fucking scared shitless of this group of people. Obviously, God created a group of people who will just fucking lobby your head off if you try to take them over. And it's very, very ingenious of God to do this. And then you have the Middle Easterners who who they've never been conquered fully. And they will fucking stand and fight against this shit. And you have China, and who knows what's really going on with the Asians, because the Asians, like, they run these kingdoms, but they keep their mouths shut, so they don't say anything. But I mean, technically, you can watch them, and you can figure it out that they're just smart enough to keep their fucking mouths shut, and they're ready to fucking do anything at any moment in time. And with the Russian stuff, you have these questions about who killed Mikhail Lezin of Russia today, the owner of it, and why is Russia bombing Israeli dual citizen Zelensky, who's right beside Kazakhstan, right after Kazakhstan magically got taken over in a 2-day ultra-fast, ultra-violent slaughter. I don't expect anyone, it's not like Putin's going to come out and say, this is why I'm doing this is why I'm doing that. Any smart war tactician is not going to tell you jack diddly fucking squat. I tell people shit because I like the truth. And to be honest, it doesn't matter. Someone can turn against whatever's happening, and I can alter the pattern and the thought process and the actions being taken. But I think at this point, we've really reached this point where these people are in the way. I mean, I don't really give a shit what anyone else thinks. They've gotten in the way of me dating other humans and tried to insert their old wrinkly ass selves into my life, and instead of me dating someone young with possibility of talent, intelligence, and beauty. And I look back and I see that repeatedly throughout my history. This has been happening over and over, right? How is it that if they're 2% of the population, that they've been like 70% of my friends and who I've dated, if they've not been doing this my whole life, where they've been inserting themselves and trying to destroy me and kill me and keep me away from other humans and other interactions with humans, which eventually led to me educating humans on who they are and not wanting to be around them at all. Like, I don't ever want to talk to one of them again or be around one of them again. But yet, why is it that they're the ones who are always coming around me and talking to me now? And I think it's got everything to do with an alien species amongst the humans who is watching us, monitoring us, killing us, enslaving us, and genociding us. And I look back at like the first girl I ever liked, and she's with one of them now, and she has kids. So this is like the only person in the world I would have feelings for if I had any sort of love for someone. This person would take it forever. But I understand enough. Logic dictates that if this is what's happening, then they must go too. And this is the decision we all have to make. When you have like a pit bull that is jumping around and barking, it's your favorite pit bull, you love it, you hug it, you kiss it, you feed it kibbles, and then it starts just chomping into you. You got to kill it.